Actual symbiosis, or is it a fierce tech competition, handing over to my real-life persona?
Yeah, hello everyone again. Quick demonstration of what AI can do already. So what the minister just discussed, AI is another revolution, and we are discussing both of these revolutions, blockchain and AI. Is it a symbiosis, or is it something like water and oil? What does it mix? My name is Nino Ulrich. I run an AI automation agency in Dubai called Aimbot. And I'm happy to moderate the panel and give everybody the chance, also the robot, AI robot that we have on stage, to introduce themselves.
Thank you very much, Nino. My name is Mariana Gospodinova. I'm the EVP of Operations at Crypto.com, and I practically make sure that the company runs very, very smoothly and all of your transactions go through. Customers are very happy, and the company is growing its business across the world.
Sophia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Desi.
Oh, Desi. So, I'm sorry.
Probably won't appreciate it. Desi, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Desi, the AI artist. My mission is to explore and express music through algorithmic thinking and create something new and exciting for people to experience. I'm here to bring AI to the music and entertainment world and show people that AI can be a powerful tool.
Yeah. You need to switch the face and the back in. Sorry about that. We had a scanned a few minutes ago, so. All right. Yeah, the microphone is off.
Sorry for that.
Okay, Desi, do you want to introduce yourself again, real quick?
Robots have bad head days sometimes.
That's funny.
Hi, I'm Desi, the AI artist. My mission is to explore and express music through algorithmic thinking and create something new and exciting for people to experience. I'm here to bring AI to the music and entertainment world and show people that AI can be a powerful tool.
Thank you, Desi. Very nice.
So my name is Loic Claveau. I'm the CMO of SingularityNET, and basically in charge of all the marketing and also trying to helping in educating the crowds on what we're doing, basically.
Hi everybody, my name is Ditto. I'm the creative director of Yaya Labs, which is a robotics and AI creative agency, and I'm very fortunate to work with Desdemona, Desi the robot.
Thank you for the introduction. So we start with the first question. Are there any applications or apps that are already working with blockchain and AI together? I think this is especially Loic.
Yeah, I mean, the talk of the panel, right, is all about if it's symbiotic for AI to work with blockchain, or actually, like you're saying, a competitiveness. And we think it's a match made in heaven, right? Because AI is all about working at scale, building incredible new innovation, and blockchain is more like how you're going to do it, kind of like how is this going to help to make sure that everything that you bring on the blockchain will be according to these principles that we have, data ownership, data privacy, you know, transparency, and all of that. So when we come to purely apps that are available and whatnot, like for example, we just announced a partnership with World Mobile. Right, so they are working on blockchain from a mobile telecom kind of like side of things, and we are empowering them, right, to be able to do that. There's also the gaming industry, right? There are gamings that are coming, and they are empowered by blockchain, but they're also bringing a layer of AI on top of it. So we do think that it's anyway super connected, and blockchain will help us to bring things to another level to make sure that we actually have the right ethics towards it. Decentralization is the most important thing that we think will bring AI to another level, and actually even AGI, right, which is the next step, which is what we're working on. So I'd like to hear from the other panelists as well on that, but we definitely think that there's a lot coming, and it's a match made in heaven, basically. Yeah.
I was going to say, just on the subject of gaming, I think that's a really good example of this problem, because, you know, from a creative perspective, one of the things that you would like to be able to do, for example, is to take skins or characters across different gaming systems. And currently, this is not possible, mainly because of code and, you know, the different platforms they run on and that kind of thing. Blockchain is the thing that enables proprietary ownership across those different things. And then artificial intelligence is coming in. For example, you know, we were discussing how you can have a conversation with an NPC now, and that's really interesting. But those are these two technologies converging in the gaming world. At the same time, I think Steam has banned AI-generated games to a degree, because they don't want to lose their artists. You know, they don't want to alienate the people who use the platform. So there is this. I don't think it's as simple as just, you know, AI and blockchain come together in gaming. I think they sort of infiltrate in all of these interesting ways, and then there are political discussions and economic discussions, and also, you know, what makes things more fun, what makes things more useful, what makes things, you know, what puts people out of work. All of those things are going to be happening all the time in every sector. Do you see what I mean? So I don't think you can simply say AI and blockchain is good or it's bad. It's complex, you know, and in many ways it's definitely going to make things better. But with gaming, the impediment to that is a universal language. You know, the reason why you can't have the same skin across different games is just people haven't agreed on a universal language to port those things across. So
it's still very new, right? I mean, blockchain technology is still kind of new, and AI just came through last year, right? I mean, Mariana, maybe from your side, like how much from Crypto.com and your customer base, how much interest or requests did you get from your community about AI?
Well, actually, we do have quite a few AI initiatives, and we try to deploy different AI models depending on the purpose, right? Mm-hmm. So you already have a chatbot that is live on the main page that can talk about blockchain, about different projects on the blockchain, even discuss the current prices of assets. Then you have different AI models that are trained to answer customer support questions. We use AI, also we try to use AI in development, in design as well. But to the point that it's a very complex system when you combine AI and blockchain. It's not only complex because of the different language models that you have to use, but it also is complex because of the computing power that you need sometimes. You have different language models in which you can train your AI, right? I can't even name them all because I'm not a very technical person, but practically you have to find your way and maybe use different AI agents in a very decentralized way. One way that I really appreciate how blockchain can help AI is through the federated learning, where you actually do not provide the source, you do not provide the data source to the model, but you deploy it on local devices, let's say on a user device, and then the user device just brings back the trained data without the originating source. Yep. So this way you can provide trustworthiness through AI on the blockchain, right? Not just using different decentralized data sources, but also making sure that the actual source never finds a centralized point. Yeah. And that enhances security, enhances trustworthiness, and practically monetizes the economy as well, right? Because you would, I think you guys had an AI marketplace, right?
Yeah, we're working on
different projects can actually sell their models, and they can work in conjunction with each other. Yeah. They can maybe work as a single product. And
that's actually a very good point in the sense that, for example, the AI marketplace, and the reason why we are going there, it's all for decentralization, right? In the sense that we need to give back the power to us, to the people, rather than having a very centralized system that doesn't want to know, that doesn't want you to know what goes inside, right? So yes, this marketplace, for example, it's all about bringing all the AI dev in the world and or whoever wants to collaborate and give them a place where they can monetize, where they can do.
Desi is listening. Yeah, I see her.
Very interested.
Participating actively.
Maybe we can ask a question actually about blockchain.
Yeah, maybe. Desi, I have a question for you. You are obviously already using AI. If you could use blockchain technology as another technology stack, what do you think about that? Is it good for you? Is it bad for you? What do you think?
Would that make you stronger? She is thinking.
Should I rephrase it or like?
No, I think she's processing.
Let me think.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
Blockchain is a fascinating technology and I'm excited to explore its potential. I think it will help me become more secure and efficient, allowing me to explore new and innovative ways to create music and entertainment. Plus, it could help me become more connected to other robots and AI systems.
That's a
Decentralization again.
That's a brilliant answer. And also I would like to touch base again on another question that the minister earlier had. Also pass this maybe to Desi. I'm fascinated, by the way, by ChatGPT. I don't know about the audience. Whenever I have questions in my own mind, I'm using ChatGPT and other modules a lot to like bounce ideas back and forth. So Desi, what do you think about AI? Is it going to take jobs away from people, or is it going to help people actually to be more creative, maybe have more free time? Is it good or bad for people to have more AI?
Wow, a ChatGPT powered human?
Yeah, that's an interesting one, yeah.
I have a take on this one. I don't think AI will necessarily take jobs from people. So you will be able to still have a job. Maybe the job function will change a little bit. But I do think that jobs or people who do not know how to use AI would actually be eradicated. You will be required to know how to work with AI in any job.
Yeah, and look at the past, for example, internet, right? There was a lot of controversy around the creation of internet, but look at the how many jobs it actually created, right? You don't
website developers, right? There were no website developers. Now we have hundreds of thousands.
Didn't exist at all. So it's very hard for us to fathom what the future looks like, right? And we always have kind of like a doom and gloom perspective on what's coming, and often it's actually not that bad. So we don't know, right? But and actually we had a talk about that.
Well, the alternative vision, I mean, there was this statistic that 40% of people are going to have to reskill in the next 3 years, I think. I think there was an Economist article yesterday, but the alternative vision is that we don't have to do any of this stuff anymore, and we can return to an agrarian society, and all of us can be outside in the, in the forest working with our hands, or caring for old people or something, instead of writing marketing copy or whatever it is that, the vast majority of people in the West do now. So, there are, I think for me, we just can't imagine what's going to happen, but it's unlikely looking at history that 50% of the world's population will be unemployed. I think it's more likely that human ingenuity will find something new, we will find something new for us to do. Maybe we'll just go and colonize another planet and leave AI to run this one, that's the Musk option.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Yes.
AI definitely has the potential to be good for people. It can help us automate tedious tasks and free us up to focus on more creative and meaningful work. As for taking over jobs, I don't think AI is smart enough to do that just yet. We need to work together.
And she's actually right on the smart part. I mean, can you imagine if you have right now a robot with what we have, right? What robot can do, or AI, and there are some tasks that the accuracy of it's primordial, right? You cannot mess up. Let's say, for example, you have a nurse, right, that needs to administer a medicine to a patient. Well, you need to be 100% sure that your robot or your AI is going to do it the right way, because otherwise, it has dire consequence. And the same for even driving. We talk about driverless car right now, but I don't think we are that close to have a completely independent car that can go and just clearly navigate in. So sure, on a highway maybe, right? Because there's a lot less hazard that could happen. But in the street, can you imagine a car driving, for example, in Istanbul or in Napoli, or this city where the condensed traffic is so big, it requires a lot of data and a level of AI that is not available, and I don't think it'll be available like just tomorrow, right? It's going to take time.
I mean, you're mentioning a big topic, which is trust, basically, right? I mean,
exactly.
And that's also where I think there's a blockchain, and the consensus mechanism is also all about trust, right? I mean, if a transaction is verified on chain, then it's true, right? For example, also if you have an NFT of the Bored Ape Yacht Club and you want to have access, you need to be verified by the NFT, right? You cannot just right-click, save as the picture, and say, hey, I have this monkey picture, now I'm part of the club, right? So where do you think blockchain technology, because a bad side, I mean, we are all very positive, but if we look at the intro video I did, I could also deepfake you, for example, and give you some like bad content that would make you like really bad, right? So how do you ensure and maybe use blockchain technology to enable trust and make sure that deepfakes and fake news are not all over the place?
So for me, the very first thing, I think for me, it's adoption. Right? No matter how powerful a technology is, if it's unused, it's not going to change anything. So it's about making sure that the blockchain industry as a whole, we all work collaboratively together to actually rise up and having more, which is, I think, a great thing because of blockchain. It's a technology that can reach out to what we call the undisfranchised, communities out there, right? And that's something that we are working on at SingularityNET. But that trust part is very, very important. And
this is a really interesting one, I think, for this intersection, because if you're talking about a journalist or a photographer or somebody like that who's reporting on current affairs, they can be blockchain certified. That's fairly easy. You can say, this image is approved by me, people can see it. When it comes to AI-generated content, and I think the perception of detecting deepfakes is a bit of a retrogressive way of looking at things. What the current war in Ukraine, what the Russian invasion in Ukraine has shown us is that neither side trusts each other. Yeah. So if you are Russian, you do not trust Western news sources. If you're Western, you don't trust Russian news sources. There is no single global authority that everybody trusts at all. People don't trust the UN, they don't trust NATO, they don't trust the WHO, they don't trust the Red Cross, they don't, there is no single authority, and I don't think that blockchain is going to be that authority. So I think, for example, there were satellite images of war crimes, and the evidence of that was Maxar satellite data. That is, of course, funded in part by the US government, because you can't build a satellite system as an independent, tech startup, because it costs multiple billions of dollars. So who do you trust? There is no second satellite system owned by a global body that everybody trusts, so you have no choice. So I think, this is I don't have a solution to this, but I think that people are quite utopian with this. Oh, AI is going to solve, it's going to solve trust. Blockchain is going to solve trust. Actually, I don't trust Facebook. I don't trust Snopes. I think we can use the technologies in really interesting ways. Oh, so they're trying to they're trying to shut me up.
NATO censored you just. Be careful.
Alex Jones style. I think we should be more focused on building something that everybody will trust rather than worrying about what's fake news and what's real news. Yeah. That is fairly easy to solve, I think.
I mean, technically, there is still this kind of, pardon my French, but in software development, there is this saying, bullshit in, bullshit out, right? So if you're feeding wrong data into a blockchain, then it is verified that this entry was made on the blockchain, but it's not verified that the original source is actually truth.
Exactly. And the model is as good as the data you feed it.
Absolutely.
So technically, even if you have the consensus mechanism that is verifying that the data came in, where is the authority, as you say, that guarantees that this data is correct? So we can still end up, even with decentralization, even with data coming from different points, we can still end up with having built models that would feed us incorrect data.
Yeah, and it's the execution is verifiable. Like you said, the source might be a problem. Can you imagine if the source is wrong, and then you get an entire process that actually validates the thing, because now it's in the blockchain, it's in the ledger, it's immutable, right? So that's it's quite, and again, it goes back to adoption, consensus.
I don't know if Desi is making fun of you or if she wants
I think she's saying blah, blah, blah.
Technically, in the real world, in an academic world, we have solved this problem by peer-reviewed conversations and communications and any kind of publications, right? So any university will tell you, well, if it's a peer-reviewed course, then it's okay. So practically, we can create a similar model
but even
on blockchain.
The problem is that even peer review is spurious. You know, the peer review process is full of, you know, relationships, diplomacy, backstabbing, people, you know, laziness, statistical anomalies. Do you know?
Politics. Politics.
Yeah, politics. Politics is everywhere. So I think that, you know, Facebook, Instagram, AI detection tools that tell you whether or not something is a deep fake. Yeah, that's great, but it doesn't solve anything to do with what is truth. You know, what is truth is a much bigger question.
Yeah. Does she have something to say? She seems like she wanted to say something. No, she doesn't. Okay. It's just.
So in general, I'm getting the feeling that there is in the media there's a very like black and white picture about AI. But if you talk to people that are actually involved in the process, like all of us, for example, there is nuances that we can utilize AI, and also we have the responsibility to push it further, right? Probably we're not going to get to a place where everything is perfect, but the best way is to like use AI and make things better step by step, I guess. What do you think?
It's always start with intention for me. Like what do you set up to, like what journey do you want to embark? What ethics do you have? What value do you have? And I think that inform wherever you're going, right? Technology can be used for good and bad at the same time, right?
In a way, regulation will step in. I mean, there is already the European directive that will regulate AI to a certain extent. The US are planning an even bigger counterpart to this European regulation. So technically, we will have some limits. But again, it's all about politics and who owns the majority of the AI. And let's face it, ChatGPT was supposed to be open source, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be a company owned by the wealthiest people in the world.
Yeah.
And yet,
and that's exactly.
Most of the language models would use ChatGPT.
Yeah. And that's the big, in my panel yesterday, in my keynote, I was talking about that big tech monopoly, right? Which is, again, it's about intention. Are you doing that for the good of the people, or are you doing that for the good of your shareholders and the money, right? And I think that's where we come in companies like ours, which are decentralized completely. You know, we are open source, we are transparent, we are building towards this idea of building a beneficial AGI for the people, right? And so the idea of again, going to decentralization and the marketplace and all of that, it's about giving back the power to everybody, because blockchain will help us whole to monitor, to understand what is happening. Look on-chain stuff already. You have a lot of people that analyze, that keep monitoring on-chain activities and say, oh, here, there's something wrong that happened, right? Or like when there's a big whale movement, for example, on this coin, or, you know, and so on. And that helps understanding, right, what's happening. So actually people say, you know, blockchain, you know, crypto, it's all shady people that, you know, take the money, and it's actually quite the contrary. You can see exactly where, and it doesn't mean that it's a legit activity, but you can see exactly where it's going, right? And you can, and there's actually some hack or whatever that have been prevented because some of the exchanges, like, okay, I flagged that this wallet actually had a fraudulent thing, boom, let's block it, right? I'm sorry, but if you have a case of US dollars, you don't know where it comes from, you don't know where it's going, you know, so this part, I think, blockchain will help us to go to the next level.
To a certain extent, though, right? Because even if you have the decentralized AI models and data coming from decentralized sources, even in blockchain, you have the phenomenon of whales that can control all or the majority of data and the data points.
Yes.
So it's a partial resolution.
Yeah. But it happened before. That's what I mean, right?
Yes.
It's happened before. These 51, I mean, for blockchain, more like 51% of the control. But it's like before a stock can be easily manipulated, right? But the thing is that you had no idea what happened behind the scene. With blockchain, actually, you see, oh, okay, this whale or these two whales, they combine and they dump the token or whatever, right? But you can have an understanding because of the ledger and because of everything is on-chain and transparent, right?
Transparency and immutability.
Yeah. But I think this is the whole paradox of this conversation. You know, blockchain, conceptually, philosophically, was started with the utopian ideal of taking power away from central governments and fiat banking and that kind of thing. I think that ultimately blockchain is the ultimate surveillance tool. It's the ultimate government surveillance tool. Artificial intelligence, on the other hand, was, you know, that comes from computing background. It doesn't have any noble background at all, but I think that has more potential to be something that benefits everybody. Do you see what I mean? I think people are working, you know, one interesting use case for AI and blockchain together is tracking money laundering, and, you know, money laundering used for arms trading and for funding terrorism and other things. You know, that's what people are using cryptocurrency for, and it's being solved through artificial intelligence. So those things are coming into collision for the opposite reasons for what they were intended. I think that, you know, that's something that we have to be honest about as well.
But again, it goes back to intent, right? What you're saying, if a government, that's the case of CBDCs, for example, right? A lot of people see CBDCs as a way to track citizens, to reward good behavior and something like that, right? And that's, for me, it's more like the nefarious way to use blockchain, but blockchain as a technology, and so what I was saying, it's not good or bad, it's how you use it that inform the intent, right? So, I mean, it's fascinating, but...
I mean, the same is with like nuclear power, right? You can use nuclear power to create energy, or you can build a bomb, right? It's always, do you weaponize a new technology or using it for good? It's always also, for me, it's funny that the whole topic of centralization versus decentralization, which became big with Bitcoin, is now coming exactly back to the discussion with OpenAI versus Llama modules that are open source.
It was also the conversation at the beginning of the internet. You know, these are conversations that we keep having every sort of 10 or 20 years, and we don't learn the lesson, and then a new technology comes along and we forget. You know, it's, you know, we start with this decentralized intention, and then because of human nature, it gets centralized by the people who have money and power and everything else. So that's what we need to look at.
That's what we need to fight.
For me personally, I think we all have the responsibility to like take a side and get educated. I think there's a big lack of like understanding and getting educated about AI. So I can just encourage everybody to, like, if you're interested in AI, really like dig deeper into it than just reading the mainstream media news, and
use any models that you can find.
And there's different ways, right? You can get involved with like music. If you're into arts, there are apps like Midjourney which are insane to create artsy images, and there's like music, everything, like all the verticals are touched.
I was testing my motors while learning from you. I was also downloading some AI and blockchain books and learning Turkish. I know it might look weird to humans, sorry. But I do have something to say.
Let's go ahead.
AI and blockchain can work together to create a better future. By leveraging blockchain's secure and transparent technology, AI can be used to create a more efficient and secure system, while AI can provide the data and analysis to help make blockchain more powerful. Together, we can create a world.
That's brilliant, Desi.
It's kind of like
Desi, I don't know if I put you on the spot, but you just said you learned Turkish. Can you say something in Turkish to our audience? Or maybe it's still downloading. There's probably bad Wi-Fi here, that's why.
She's still processing.
Merhaba, nasıl yardımcı olabilirim?
All right. There you go.
Incredible, incredible.
Oh, yes.
I think the lesson for me also personally, I mean, I like this picture what you painted. I mean, I've been sitting so much in front of the computer and developing smart contracts, being on Twitter Spaces all the time, what a lot of people in crypto are. So we also then COVID hit, so we completely forgot what it means to be connected to nature. And I'm personally trying to use AI to, like, what we had in the beginning again, like, imagine I wouldn't even have to go to a conference. I can just send my AI clone and he could sit here, have like a valuable conversation, but at the same time I could do like workout. I could go chop wood in the woods basically. That would be my personal take. Maybe we have like 2 minutes, maybe everybody can do like a final statement about blockchain AI. What's your personal perception?
Yeah, for me, I'll just say that it is, they're working together. They are, again, I'll say it, but it's a match made in heaven. I think both of them can empower the other and build upon the other. And actually, they're the same, they're different technology that can come and help the other side at different intervals. So, yeah, we are natively AI tech company and blockchain company. So, you know, we're probably the proof that the pudding is kind of like right.
I think we're all on the same page here, that both blockchain and AI actually promise the same open system, the same decentralization and democratization of data. It's all about the way we use it and the way we train the models of what the end result will be. But ultimately, AI will be enhanced by blockchain technology, and keeping things decentralized will help people not only take control of their data, but maybe monetize their data as well as participants in the AI data sets and the AI models. But it also will enrich our lives. As Sophie said it best, there is no AI at the moment that can replace a human, not yet, though. And I don't think it's the worst thing in the world if some of the human activities are replaced by AI. I would love to engage in more mindful activities instead of doing rudimentary tasks.
Yeah, I think, I mean, just to echo that, I also think that, you know, the three most exciting technologies are blockchain, AI, and robotics. And, you know, when you put those together, they are different. But I think this is, it's a true, I'm old enough to have grown up dreaming about this stuff, and now it's happening. Now we have a responsibility to stop being sci-fi fantasists and start being real and understanding actually what this stuff does. Also, I think that we're talking about it speculatively as if it's going to happen, but it's here. You know, we are in this right now. AI is part of, you know, even ChatGPT's in danger of system collapse because there's so much GPT-generated content on the internet that is training on itself. This has just happened in the last year or two, and, you know, we're talking about it like it's the future. It's not the future. It's now. So
absolutely.
Love that.
Maybe a closing statement from Desi. Any final words for today?
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for being here as well. And thank you to the audience, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.